It's Sunday morning, March 17th, and I was camped in Lincoln National Forest just outside of Alamogordo, New Mexico. And I'm heading into town right now to restock on groceries, and I should probably also find a laundromat. It's been a little bit since I've done laundry. I'm at the grocery store in Alamogordo, and before I go in, I need to take inventory. Alright, contents of fridge really thinning out. I have sandwich meats, cheese, yogurt, spaghetti sauce. I need to make more spaghetti. Alright, in my dry bin I have a surplus of soups and fake meat. I need to improve upon this. Alright, we are back in business. Shopping for groceries on the road isn't any different than doing it back home. You just unload and put everything away as soon as you get back out to the parking lot. Although one of the small challenges is that every grocery store you go into is different, so you have to relearn where everything is. Storage can be challenging, so I get rid of any unnecessary boxes. And sometimes I just do not have enough room in my food bin, so the stuff's gonna have to stay there. I'm at the Space History Museum in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I was just passing through on my way back into Lincoln National Forest, and I thought I'd check it out. Who doesn't love space? Although, don't climb on the exhibits. It's a good way to get disappeared, if you know what I mean.
We're going to call it a wrap and suggest you try it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed learning to land the space shuttle.
Discovery Houston, show you on glide slope but left of the center line. Recommend moving to stick right.
Absolutely obvious what it is about the gyro that's going to allow us to control a smooth string that would pull, get the rotor going. It's covering the smallest diameter shaft.
That museum was cool, and it was really inspiring to see all that we've accomplished, especially with some sketchy looking 20th century tech. I'm watching Lost in Space on Netflix right now, and I really get immersed in the romantic idea of space exploration and surviving on an alien planet. I could go to space. Another fallen tree in Lincoln National Forest. It looked like a lot of fun, but I'm just gonna backtrack. I'm hungry, it's getting late, and I want to find a lower elevation anyway. You see all that white sand on the horizon in the distance? That is White Sands National Monument from afar. There was nothing at the top of that hill climb except for a grassy flat spot and an old fire ring. That is exactly what I was hoping for. I haven't reviewed the footage of when I drove up that hill, but I think I lifted a wheel. And even though that looks cool, we don't want that. I had the lockers engaged coming up that, but with the sway bar disconnected, that wouldn't have happened. My electronic sway bar disconnect is still out of commission, but I did figure out what I'm going to do. I sourced a replacement actuator from a friend, and that is waiting for me at another friend's house in Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to repair the factory unit. Probably in the next few weeks. For what it's worth, I'm glad that I made no attempt to get past that fallen tree. I like it here. It's warm, it's dry, it's sunny. This is a good spot. Also, happy St. Paddy's Day, everyone. I had a wonderful stay here last night. Very quiet, secluded, and beautiful. Lincoln National Forest. Still a little bit chilly though. Can't wait for my coffee to be done. For low, first gear, descent control, and feet off the pedals. Just point and shoot. Come on, man. It's alright, there's a well-traveled bypass through a campsite right here, so I'm good. But there's a lot of fallen trees on this route.
When you look to the left,
After a 9-mile drive to get out of Lincoln National Forest and negotiating several fallen trees, I'm in the mountain town of Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Just walking around, exploring, and probably get some lunch. That was a turkey, bacon, and Swiss sandwich with green chili. I need to stop getting things with green chili on them because, well, I just need to stop. I've been digging a lot of holes lately. Now I am heading southeast through Lincoln National Forest. I'm going to track down a place to camp. And it's going to be challenging because most of Lincoln National Forest, at least in this region, is very high elevation. That means a lot of patches of snow. I'm in the wrong place. I'm heading southeast through Lincoln National Forest. First, I'm heading up in elevation, so I'm seeing more snow, and all the snowmelt is causing just this ridiculous amount of mud that's very sticky. So to play it safe, I'm going to turn around and backtrack and find drier ground. I like exploring remote places, and sometimes there's mud. But this is my home. Driving my home through mud. Get inside, get in my bed. Good luck. If I can get the door handles in a good place, I'm happy. This is camp tonight, just a couple miles down the hill from the muddy section of road. It's actually really nice. Ground is covered with pine needles, it's really dry. I wanted to get out of the snow zone, but I looked at the time and I don't think I had enough daylight tonight, so I'll just pick it up again in the morning. The one thing that makes navigating Lincoln National Forest challenging east of Alamogordo is that it's dotted with private land. If you look here, all of these white spots are private land. So you always feel like you're in someone's backyard, and it makes some of the roads uncertain. Which are private roads, which are forest roads. Still a beautiful national forest. It's Tuesday morning around 9:30 and off I go. I'd really like to find a slightly warmer, slightly drier campsite where I can linger for a couple nights. I'm thinking about targeting Carlsbad, New Mexico to wrap up the week, unless I can find a place between here and there. All it really comes down to is finding fast internet. Private road, no trespassing. This is exactly what I was talking about last night. The GPS is showing the roads, but it's not showing whether or not they're private. This messes me up. This is another parcel of Lincoln National Forest in southern New Mexico, directly north of Guadalupe Mountains National Park in Texas. This is a completely different climate than the one that I just came out of. Snow is gone, trees are gone, mud is gone. We're closer to 6,000 feet now as opposed to 8,000 feet, and there's much less private land, so I think there's more to explore and more to discover. Wow. I'm not going to spend the night here, but this campsite's ready to rock. Home sweet home for the night. Now to see about dinner. It's Tuesday night, and I might stay here tomorrow. I don't know. I get restless, and I get addicted to finding the next place, but It's also good to pump the brakes sometimes, so I might just stay here another night. It's a nice grassy camping area. And then on Thursday, make my way into Carlsbad. Find a place to wrap up the week. I have to be honest, when I said I was going to spend another night at this campsite, this wasn't the weather situation that I had in mind. I was sort of planning on basking in sunshine. So I have a lot of ground to cover between here and Carlsbad. I'm going to keep driving. Hi. I'm at Sitting Bull Falls National Recreation Site, which is a viewing area for some waterfalls and a really nice picnic area. I stopped to use the facilities and I'm getting a bite to eat for breakfast. This is the hiking trail to the top of the falls. I don't know how long it is, but it can't be very long. Falls are right over there. That's about it, and it's beautiful up here. That pool has to be a refreshing soak in the summer, but it's 11 a.m. now. I'm going to head back down to the Jeep and find a place to spend the night. It's lunchtime on Wednesday afternoon, and I'm already settled in for the evening on BLM land southwest of Carlsbad, New Mexico. It's a nice spot on top of a hill, very secluded, very lightly traveled. Camping on a hilltop like this is a huge gamble because the wind can pick up easily and make things very unpleasant. but last night was great. The air was perfectly still, and it was very peaceful. I think this little splotch of BLM land is the most comfortable I've been all week. My favorite campsite, however, was the grassy one from 2 nights ago with all the fire rings. I would have loved to have stayed another night, but of course the fog and the rain picked up the next day. Alright, bean water is made. Before I break camp, I'm going to take a little time to work on a blog post for OK 4-Wheel Drive. And then I'm going to head into Carlsbad, see about finding internet access, check out their public library, and plan tomorrow's edit. I totally enjoy it, but one of the most challenging things about what I do is not only editing the video at the end of the week, but finding a place with fast enough internet access where I can upload a 5 gigabyte file to YouTube quickly. Last week I didn't put any effort into finding fast internet, so I went with what I had. It took a total of 20 hours to edit the video and send it to YouTube. That was brutal. It usually takes 10 hours. If it takes 8 hours, that's good. If it takes 6 hours, that's great. Well, this week I was searching around Carlsbad and I found fast internet at the Walmart Supercenter. I ran a speed test while I was inside, 63 megabits per second. So as long as that network's stable, I should be able to upload the episode within minutes. That's fast, that's great. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm all set. I've got a plan for tomorrow night, and that's to come to Walmart. I've been looking closely at Gaia GPS, and I feel as I travel east, my experiences are going to change. Here in the Southwest, you have a lot of public land in the form of national forests, shaded in the green, and then BLM land shaded in the red. And then down here in Texas, you have all this white area, which is all private land. So it's going to take a lot more research and planning to find primitive roads and campsites. I knew this going in. I've been there before, but having spent so much time here out west, it's easy to become spoiled by the land use options. I'm still going to go out of my way to go off the beaten path and find undiscovered places in remote areas, but I think we're going to see a lot more developed areas too. For now, I'm going to call that a wrap for this week. So thank you all for following along, and I'll catch up with you again next Friday from somewhere in Texas. Almost definitely.